Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 25th International Meet. Well, did I say 25th? It's so wonderful to think of the earlier 24 meets that we have had and for which we had an awesome set of viewers encouraging us. Thank you, dear viewers. And 25th meet is special, and so are the poets in this 25th meet. Some of them have been very, very naughty while giving me their bios, and I hope that you enjoy hearing them as much as I enjoyed reading them. Let's first meet the Mad Hatter Santosh Bakaya, whom I became attached to when I was posted in New Delhi, and her bio in her words. I'm not smart, just happy like a bug in my writing rug, content to bask in my muted glow. They call me Mad Hatter, and rightly so. For me, words really matter. So does ceaseless chatter. I am the eternal prankster. Let me divulge a secret. My writings are just pranks unleashed on unsuspecting readers. Yes, I plead guilty to the charge. Nature sends me into a tizzy. A pesky pup and a cute cat make me dizzy. And writing, the corollary damage follows. Bear with me, folks. I'm not going away easily. So that was Santosh Bakaya. Welcome, Santosh, to our platform once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neelam. It's always a pleasure to be a part of your platform. And this is the 25th meet, I'm told. And hearty congratulations for that. I was there in the first meet, I think, long time back when you
Yes, you
started
were.
it. Yeah, I was
Yes,
there.
you were. So it
And,
has been an amazing journey, and
yeah,
let us move on to the next poet sitting just next to you online. So our next poet is Gauri Dixit, whom I've had the pleasure of meeting several times at Pune. Gauri Dixit, when not busy working in her office, is busy being a traveler, climbing mountains, walking on untrodden paths, capturing the voice of a solitary flower blossoming from a rock, or the bird sitting on a hanging branch, sometimes the setting sun or the sea in her camera, as well as in the words she weaves. Her poems speak in a voice which is unique, cold, and direct. She has been a part of many anthologies as well as a Rural Prize awardee. Wow, wow, wow. And had commendable mention at Destiny's Poet. Her poems have been published at Spillword, Glowwork, Oddball magazine. There's a long list. And in her first book, In My Skin, I Find Freedom, there are poems on various subjects, yet there is a common thread of a skeptical, questioning mind of a free woman. So, welcome, Gauri.
Thank you, Neelam. Thank you so much. And the initial part of that introduction was more of pre-pandemic, I think, the traveling part. After that, things have not started. And happy to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And now, moving on, let me introduce you all, friends, to Sunita. Sunita, another poet with charming words, was a great friend at Delhi, and a bio in her words. Though they call me Sunshine Sunita, but I am the chori Ganga Kinare Wali. Triveni flows inside me, co-mingling cultures, English language, combines with Shuddha Hindi and a sprinkling of the Urdu Zuban. Wordsworth, Browning, Austen, and Dickinson live close to Premchand, Manto, Sahir, and Faiz in my heart. My poems and stories flow out as simply as a smile plays on my lips. Many have found a place in anthologies, and some have traveled solo in books. When the dust of the world sits heavy, I seek refuge in mountains, beaches, or the park, conversing with the clouds and the trees. So that is Sunita. Welcome, Sunita.
Thank you so much, Neelam ji. It's a pleasure, and I've been here so many times, but it's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have the wonderful poets that whom we have today on the show. Well, the poet in today's meet, whom I first met amongst all of you, was Dr. Koshi, and we met at Lucknow way back in 2009 or something. And I really admire him for the fantastic poems that he churns. Koshi is an assistant professor presently at the Department of English, Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, and has 35 books with his name on the cover. He has written as a poet, fiction writer, and critic, and worked as editor and anthology maker and won many, many awards. Some of his books are Amazon bestsellers, and one has gone into multiple translations. Oh, wow. He has a PhD and several other degrees and certificates to his credit, besides an NPO for autism, founding TSL, instituting the Royal International Prize for Literature, and altering the sonnet to make the Rosette sonnet. So that is Dr. Koshi. Welcome, Dr. Koshi.
Thank you, Neelam. Yeah, I remember meeting in Lucknow and writing the introduction for your first book of poetry. You've come a long way from there. Who's going to introduce you?
Yes, that was a wonderful experience. Silhouette of Reflections, that poetry collection was titled.
Right.
Uh, so coming to the next poet, well, she is someone who I've never met offline, but met online at least a 50 times. So hoping to meet you, Nivi, soon. I'm really, really eager to meet you. So let me introduce you in your words. Nivedita means the dedicated one. I have a daughter and a son. I earned my mullah from the school, splurged it in my publisher's pool. They call me the bold and the beautiful. My solo books are on the lookout for some cozy shelves. Co-authored anthologies have reached around 25. Just across the Arabian Sea is my abode. Tendencies are Nawabi to the core. Oh, I've been a witness. Starting conversations is my art. I know that. With smiles I move on when life upsets my apple cart. So that was Nivi, and I welcome you on your own page.
Yes, thank you so much. I was just about to say, Neelam, now I need to welcome you on our own page, and it is such a pleasure to have the very, very beautiful other side of the family, the significant leap, Dr. Koshi, the Santoshji, Gauri, Sunita. I have shared the stage with Ampat sir and Santoshji many times, with Gauri and Sunita first time. And it is such a beautiful moment to have the 25th international meet, and we share stage with all these lovely people. Time now to introduce our moderator for the evening. And mind you, she doesn't do anything in moderation. If ever I have known anything about her, nothing in moderation. And as she says, if you ask about my hobby, it's laughing, I would say. It is just like raindrops in the hot month of May. I also love to splash colors on that rain, for often paintings keep emerging in my brain. I love to take a ride on the rainbow multi-hued. It provides my sleeping mind some flavored food. On my laptop, my fingers move so fast. At times, my poem ignite a blast. Stories keep storming my heart quite often. Anchoring makes the gentle heart soften. I do love to put on the acting cap too. I think I would be better in a zoo. No, no, Neelam, you are welcome here on the platform and on a I welcome you. Thank you. And all yours.
Thank you, Nivi, for introducing me in my words. And let us begin today's session. And I am sure all the viewers here watching us are looking for some awesome poetry today. So, my question to the viewer: what do you think about war? Is there really anyone who likes them? My own personal views. A few stinking corpses shall be found in the gullies. A few reeking carcasses shall be forsaken in the lanes. A few tears shall flow, the bugle shall blow. Ah, the life shall never be the same again. So let's hear Santosh's view on the theme of war. Santosh.
Thank you so much, Neelam. And this is a poem from my book, What is the Meter of the Dictionary? And the poem is called They Say a War is On. They say a war is on. What do war ravaged women do on International Women's Day? There are silhouettes creeping out of nooks, tiny girls clinging onto their precious dolls, and the mothers clinging to theirs. Scared out of their wits, they cast petrified looks as their tiny, pigtailed, sobbing dolls sob on. A ghostly dread fills the surroundings. Ignoring their bruises and gashes, they dash, crashing against each other towards improvised shelters, faces reflecting a deathly pallor. Is it some raucous maniacal rage, or just the spillover effects of a demonic age? What do war ravaged women do on International Women's Day? One wipes another's tears while quelling her own fears, dodging the flying glass and burning shrapnel, shielding her innocent offspring from traumatic senselessness, not yielding to her own tears, frantically fleeing death and destruction, desperately praying for protection against this weird celebration of violence. This is what war-ravaged women do on International Women's Day, insanely tracing the jagged edges of the nightmares with shaking fingers, threatened by the lingering sting of the senseless war, which burns and burns and burns while she turns and turns in bed, learning and unlearning, unlearning and learning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very touching poem. Very touching poem.
Thank
So moving on, there are so many forms of poems, sonnets, limericks, ballads, quatrain, tanka, haiku, and haiban. The term haiban was first used by the 17th century Japanese poet Matsuo Basho in a letter to his disciple Kyorai in 1690. And he wrote some Hibernese travel accounts during his various journeys, the most famous of which is Okuno Hosomishi, narrow road to the interior. Haban, of course, is no longer confined to Japan and has established itself as a genre in world literature that has gained momentum in the recent years. Let's hear our very own Gauri, who will render a Haban written by her. Gauri.
Thank you, Neelam. So this one is titled Stardust. Stardust. The blades rotate at a constant speed. My eyes etch a pattern on the thick layer of dust. The fan will not clean itself, mind says. The fan will not clean itself, mind says. It will. It will. See the tiny dust particles floating in the air? The mind contradicts itself. The onions have been lying in the terrace for 6 days now. Day 1 and day 2 were supposed to dry the wet onions. It rained on the day 3 and 4. The onions are out for drying again, and they will dry on their own. I go through the memories scattered around, picking each of them, cleaning, dusting, compartmentalizing, organizing. I go through the memories scattered around, picking each of them, cleaning, dusting, compartmentalizing, organizing. Halfway through, I see you. Halfway through, I see you, much larger than any compartment that I have, and too small to be locked away. Petal by petal, the Gulmohar carpet thickens. Thank you.
That was a real wonderful poem, rather a haiban, and hats off to you. The word poetry is like a wonderful azure sky that covers everything. The orange hued sun, the poised moon, the abundant nature, the various people with their different moods and desires, the relationships, and so on and so forth. We would like to hear from Sunita what poetry means to her. Sunita,
Thank you. So I wrote this on World Poetry Day. I start with a question in my mind. Why poetry? Why poetry? Because every time I stumbled and fell, poetry comforted me. When the harsh world got too much, it was her pillow which rested me. In her silent bower, I sat by the gentle rivers. Her chirping birds became my troubadours. It was her mirror that I glanced into to look for Sylvia's young girl and filled my soul with Emily's hope. Intoxicated by portions of Elizabeth's love sonnets, poetry became my paramour. There were times when she turned into a prophet, teaching me lessons of life. She read from the leaves of Sahir's tree, Faiz, Gulzar, Javed, or Bachchan. In her charmed land, there were no boundaries or differences. The rebel and the obedient all lived as one. All lived as one. Thank you.
that was beautiful. That and I think you echoed all our thoughts because for all poets, poetry is that companion who is always there.
Yes. Yes. Lover, lover, friend, everything. Poetry is,
Yeah.
heaven, everything.
And I think the lone gentleman, oh, here he comes. I thought he got intimidated by all of us. So it's a pleasure to welcome you back, Dr. Koshi. And
Thank you.
Dr. Koshi is a man with powerful thoughts. He knows where he is heading very well and can be said to be phenomenal. Claps for him. And we would like to hear
Thank you.
from you your first poem for the day, which I think reflects the condition of today. Dr. Koshi.
Yeah, I mean, this is a poem from a book, For Better or Worse, which is written by me, Santosh, and Ramendra Kumar together. Three different sections of poetry. The first poem is one I want to read. It's a kind of escapist poem, okay, because I find it very depressing, many of the things that are happening in India today. So I've written this poem as a kind of escape. Sakhi, my question to you is not whether you love your country more or less than the fascists do, but if you love me. Honey, my question to you is not if you hold to the wrong interpretation of your religion or the right one, but if you will hold on to me. Darling, my question to you is not about which language you speak in, but the images you see in your dreams. What colors are they? Rainbows or monochrome? Dear, Age is just a number, and I never asked you about your land or the rivers in it, whether they and the mountains are considered sacred or not. But if there is a home in your heart for me, sweetheart, I would set you free from the petty politics of love in our times, to transcend to the skies that do not speak of love for one's country or language or for any religion or its interpretation, but true to the kindred points of heaven and home, finds freedom in arms freely open to give and take a hug or two. Sakhi, if the heart is burning, who can quench its fire? So that is my poem.
Wonderful, wonderful. I began by saying that you are an amazing poet, and I would like to repeat the same after listening to your poem today. I've listened
Thank
to you
you.
many times.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much.
Koshi.
Yeah, I'm blushing.
And red is worn by two of the ladies here, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
blushing. So moving on. Since everyone thinks that he or she is the most amazing, isn't it? And that often leads to conflicts, ego issues, and whatnot. But what if the sun and the moon have a discord? I invite Nivedita to tell her tale.
Uh, Thank you, Neelam. And before I begin reciting my poem, I have to mention this. The person who gave this prompt, the very, very beautiful poem prompt, is sitting right there in the green and yellow in the corner of the screen. And it was this year's TSL. I think this was the last prompt of our TSL, and I think Santosh ji gave this a poetic conversation between sun and the moon. So let Santosh ji and everybody at TSL and Neelam decide what are the sun and moon talking to each other about. It's a poetic conversation. The brightness in the world is my magic, quipped the sun. The grinning moon couldn't help boasting on its trick of waning and waxing. With a bright grin, it retorted, the restful hours, spiced with romance, are my magic. The breed of humans known as poets burn the midnight oil to scribble more on me than you. I inspire wherein you make them perspire. The sun smiled, as it couldn't but deny. It had been brooding over the sky, the sun added as an afterthought. The sky welcomes me with lilac hues. For you, it turns a tad bit reddish. I wonder, does it favor any one of us? The moon couldn't agree more. The sun here had made a score. Let's confront the sky, they said in unison. The sun and the moon suddenly burst into peals of laughter, exactly as Santoshi does and Neelam does. They were destined to roll along the sky. Just that, the dark and light hours kept them apart.
Oh
That's me.
wow, oh wow. Wonderful, wonderful. But let me choose the stars. No conflict.
No comment. Okay, so I'm going to choose one of the very, very famous and shiny star of the literary world in India, which is Neelam herself. And I have a question for the panel of poets here and for our listeners right now. Does a whale hide the virtues? Neelam here is going to read her heart out on a very, very pertinent topic, which a few months ago had the media abuzz and had seen the whole of the Middle East go into a topsy turvy debate. Neelam, I welcome you to recite your poem, The Whale.
Thank you, dear Nivi. So here goes my poem, The Way. Let the veil remain. Let the veil remain. You have been taught to cover your body with the veil, cover even your thoughts with the veil. Many countries with veils have undergone revolutions as their thoughts kept on churning vision of a better future. Let your tears flow till you bleed. Let your tears flow till you bleed. Let the blood stain every part of your body till they learn to say no. Let the blood stain every part of your body till they learn to say no to the torture being inflicted on you. Let the tears flow till you learn to revolt. Let your tears flow till you learn to revolt. Keep churning. Let your thoughts craft images of a better you. Then don't let the veil remain. Let it blow with the wind. The world will see a better you, sculpted by your own thoughts. So that was my poem, The Way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so let us move on to round two. Some people in the world have a haughty way of labeling others. The trend is not untouched by the poets too. But if everyone thinks that he or she is the best, then where will the world move towards? Let's hear Dr. Koshi's views on the theme. Dr. Koshi. You're muted, Dr. Koshi.
Just before I start reading, I just wanted to make a remark which is not directly connected. Nivedita was talking about prompting in how she wrote a poem on prompts. Today I read an article in Scroll about, they were praising a poet from Africa. I'm very happy about that, but they were praising him for giving prompts, I don't know, somewhere, Facebook or Insta or wherever, and he has become famous because of the prompts that he gives. And I just wanted to take this occasion to tell the audience that you have two people here, who would like also to be remembered for their prompts, me and Santosh. So that I know it's not connected to what we are doing, but I just remembered it because Nivedita's poem was based on a prompt. Neelam, can you just repeat the theme that you want me to read on?
Okay, it's about labeling.
Labeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a poem that I read in the Bangalore version of the launch of this book. And although it is in a way about uh, uh, it uses as an example Islam or Muslims, but it can apply to people of any religion in any country where they are the minority. So it's I think it's one of my best poems. That's why I'm reading it again. Sakhi, let's play a game, a question answer game. Ask each other, who are you? And never give the expected answer. My turn to ask, yours to answer. Today, maybe tomorrow you can practice on me. Are you a Muslim? No, I am an Indian. Are you an Indian? No, I am a Muslim. Are you an Indian first? No, I am a Muslim. Are you a Muslim first? No, I am an Indian first. Are you both Indian and Muslim? No, I am neither Indian nor Muslim. Are you neither an Indian nor a Muslim then? No, I am both an Indian and a Muslim. Are you a Muslim? Second. No, I am an Indian. Second. Are you an Indian? Second. No, I am a Muslim. Second. So you are not Indian? No, I am not Muslim. Oh, you are not Muslim? No, I am not Indian. Sakhi, you play it well. We wear our badges and medals of scars well. Let them all go to hell. That's a poem.
Very thought provoking, very thought provoking.
Yeah,
Claps for you.
thank you. It's a poem about identity, and it's a poem.
Koshi's poem. Koshi's poem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
No,
remember,
it's a poem about how people try to pigeonhole you by saying, you're not something enough, you're not woman enough, you're not man enough, you're not nationalistic enough. I mean, it can be anything, but why you should resist that kind of thing?
thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, moving forward, telling tales through poems has been a very interesting form. It leaves indelible imprints on the mind. In India, verses of Ramayana and Mahabharata were passed on from one generation to next verbally. And who can forget poems such as Lord Ellen's Daughter by Thomas Campbell? Now, my dear Navi also has an uncanny story to be told. Or are you going to render something different? Oh, now I remember. Dr. Koshi, here's a surprise for you. Nivi is going to render her next poem, which is a favorite form of yours, the one you invented, Rosette Sonnet.
Mm,
So, Nivi,
thank you.
Yes. So my professor here is in for a surprise, and once again, lot of kudos to the TSL. And like just now, he said, please give credit. So I already gave credit to one prompter,
Okay.
Santoshi. Now turn for the other one. And Gauri and Sunita, don't be left out. I cannot recite the Triveni and the Sudoka right now, but I do remember your USPs too.
Prompts.
So yes. So this one I wrote last year, the 2022, when I really learned the Roseate Sonnet, and this goes out to Ampad sir. And this also, like him, like my professor, has a lot of undertones of what you can interpret it as, and it definitely has something to do with the modern scenario which India is facing right now. Wistful wishes riding away, jogging on as far as it may, trotting along with the zephyr, almost on the nadir. Illogical sparring with the logical, imagination swooping on the elusive. Wayward are the thoughts restrained, untamed, unbridled brains. Insatiable blaze of desires, humanity trapped in a maze of ardor. Now, the Roseate Sonnet has this special section which is like the acrostic of the word rose. So now I'm going to recite that portion of the sonnet. Rancor rousing flavor spread, oddities offending the oligarchy, schism seducing the gullible souls, expressions might mislead the votes. So here is to our dear Ampad sir on his
Thank
Roseate
you.
Sonnet.
Thank you.
that was wonderful. That was wonderful. Thank you, dear Nivi.
Thank you.
So, moving ahead. People deeply covered in the waters of romance can do weird things. Writing on the walls, marking on the barks of a tree, sending messages through pigeons, and so on and so forth. If you were a young girl in love, I mean, you are still young, and with that red outfit, you are looking younger. So, if you were a young girl in love, what would you be doing, Sunita?
नीलम जी, आ, इश्क जब होता है तो उम्र घटी जाती है. So
So, you
age
mean
has
you
nothing to do with love. Huh?
I know, I know. So
So,
let's hear what you are doing.
and mine is pink, not red. ये pink red
Oh,
लग रहा है इसमें.
so pink, but
Pink is
pink
the
is all the more romantic. So
Yes, that's right. Thank you. And this too is based on a prompt which Reena gave, I think 2 years back in TSL. So this is based on that. The prompt was, and the title of the poem is also arbor glyphs. Arbor glyphs. Those are the markings on the bark of a tree. So it's based on that. Here goes. He longed to touch her. He longed to touch her in real as in dreams. His whispers, sweet and tangy, like wine on her tongue. Wishing to hold her, skin against skin, tasting the pomegranates of her words. Wishing to hold her, skin against skin, tasting the pomegranates of her words, the sunbeams dancing on her navel, her eyes burning skies, her eyes burning skies, her fingernails carving arbor glyphs on the bark of his body, her fingernails carving arbor glyphs on the bark of his body. Thank you.
that was a very, very moving poem, very touching, and I'm sure we all love that.
Yes.
So, moving ahead, different people all over the world have suffered due to acts of extremism. During our growing up days, the dialogue, अगर कहीं जन्नत है तो यही है यही है यही है, used to echo for Kashmir. But something did change over the years, isn't it? The subject is very touchy for Santosh. Why? Well, for all those who don't know, listen to her next poem. Over to you, Santosh.
Thank you, Neelam. And the poem that I'm going to recite is The Happy Houseboat Folks. The Happy Houseboat Folks. And of course, as the name suggests, it is a poem of nostalgia, poem about communal harmony, and the poem of the good old times. I got up with a heavy head, the thudding of many feet creating a ruckus. I felt as if a family of gypsies had set up a tent in my mind, running helter skelter in turbulent confusion. Then I saw something. Then I saw something. It was a houseboat woman, clad in a florid ferron, mocking the old faced one in the next houseboat, gesturing with flour smeared hands. The sky looked down, sheathed in bewildered anxiety. The two women continued to make faces at each other, painting a picture of comic incongruity. This image often brightens dull days, lifting me from the dumps. They exchanged Kashmiri expletives as two ferren clad men thumped each other, laughing loudly at the antics of their happy house. And time moved on. And time moved on. As a whining, buzzing wail of fury comes right at me, I imagine. I imagine these couples, now no longer young, sitting in their houseboats, not laughing, just sighing. Not laughing, just sighing, wistfully recalling the times, happy times in those peaceful climes when even loud-throated expletives smelled of love. Thank you.
Very moving poem. I remember having met you for the first time at Dr. Bhogal's house, and that time also you'd rendered a poem on Kashmir, and we had all cried.
Yeah, I know everyone was crying. So that was very,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I felt very
that was our first meeting.
thank
Uh,
you for that.
so moving ahead, feminine form has been active since eons. However, slowly they were taught to be submissive, not having their viewpoint. They didn't even have the right to vote till 18th century in most of the countries. Their rights were often rescinded. Till finally World War started to change the perspective. In the midst of this, celebration of Women's Day became very important. A woman's choice, her independence, her right to say no, all these have to be reiterated again and again and again. So let's hear what Gauri has to say about it. Over to you, Gauri.
Thank you, Neelam. So once a year, the man cooks a meal for his woman. Once a year. Men in the team give a standing ovation to all the women in the room. Every woman gets a rose at the petrol pump. There are wishes galore on WhatsApp, emails, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all. Every moment is filled with glee. Even if she wanted to, she would not be able to flee. The world is projected to be her oyster, making her forget for a moment that she is the pearl. Parties are the order of the day and night. Parties are the order of the day and night. There is free flowing beer along with some good cheer. Every word is designed to be music to her ear. It is easier to give her a day than the whole year. It is easier to give her a day than the whole year. Where
I
there is a
love the
disparity, sorry, just two lines. So, where there is a disparity, there is a day. And we will celebrate it. And we will celebrate it come what may. Or should I say March?
March.
wonderful, wonderful. I would like you to read that last but third line once again, you know?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Uh, every word is designed to be a music to her ear. It is easier to give her a day than the whole year.
The whole year. Wow.
It is easier to give her a day than the year.
Oh,
That speaks so much. That speaks so much. I really am in love with that line. Awesome.
Thank you, Neelamji. Thank you.
amazing. And now that we are talking about accomplished women, we actually do not need that kind of, what should I say, consolation prize. So here is somebody who has carved her own path, grabbed her own part of the sky, and now let Neelam speak about why she does not want to be part of the herd. Neelam's poem titled The Herd. Welcome, Neelam.
Thank you, Nivi. You know, this poem was written when I was getting transferred from Pune to Mumbai, and I would be sometimes in Mumbai and sometimes in Pune, and lot of other thoughts were going on and on in my mind. So that is just the background. The poem is titled The Herd. It's early morning. The sky is not amber as I would expect. Everything is smoky, murky, unmoving. I also wish to return home and doze. However, I see a flock of parrots passing by. Soon, a lot of crows fly over me. A cuckoo coos, waking me completely from my silly desire to rest in the wee hours. I look amazedly at these birds. No time to halt for arthritis pain. Can't wait for fever to subside. Can't stay isolated for COVID. Deliver digital life. It's either zero or one. Die or live. I somehow love to see these digital birds fly daily at the same time. Whenever I'm transferred from smaller cities to the larger ones, I should be happy, but I'm not. The birds aren't found in the smog of the cities, maybe, except some lonely pigeons and crows, and my inner self becomes frozen. No more dances of joy. No more dances of joy. My heart craves for that chance to stay in a home where peacocks and peahens dance, where the parrots and manas romance. I too then can be as free as a bird and not be a part of that people walking in a herd. I too can then be as free as a bird and not be a part of that people walking in a herd. So that was my poem. So here we come to the end of the session. If any of the poets would like to speak a line or two, you're welcome. Dr. Koshi, let's give chance to the gentleman first.
Yes, please.
That was a very nice session. I mean, I always enjoy hearing other people read their poetry, especially five such distinguished poets. And I find it the most relaxing and also the most invigorating thing on earth to hear good poetry read out aloud, to listen to it and enjoy it. So thank you, Neelam. Thank you, Nivedita. Thank you, Santosh, Gauri, Sunita, everyone, for this lovely session. And all who are listening in, don't know who they are, all who will watch it later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Koshi. I'm the girl in pink. I would like to invite you now.
It was a pleasure to be here with all of you and listen to such beautiful poetry. Neelam ji's special, this one and the other one, and Santosh ji's Kashmir one and the war one. Dr. Koshi's, of course, the second one was very Koshi's. It's about your identity, and the first one, the Sakhi one. And Gauri is, of course, the second one, and the first one as well, and Nivedita's too. So it's like Dr. Koshi said, it's such a pleasure to listen to beautiful poetry, you know, because each one of us is connected through this cord of love for poetry. So it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me among such distinguished company.
Our pleasure too. And now let me move on to the wonderful photographer, Gauri. I really enjoy watching your photos.
Thank you, and it was a wonderful session. It has been a while since I have read poetry. We used to, I think, do a lot of sessions in TSL, outside of it also last year, but this year it has been busy, and it was really wonderful to be reading something, to listening to others read, and it gives an inspiration to perhaps write more and more.
Correct.
Thank you, Neelam. Thank you for providing this platform as well for it.
It's our pleasure to hear to such wonderful poets today. And now I move on to my dear friend who's above me, just
You.
upstairs. Dr. Bakaya.
Very, very subdued today. Dr. Bakaya, please show your true colors.
We did see a Mediator, version.
I'm basically a very quiet person, you know. So all that laughter is just an aberration. Actually, I was stunned into silence because of the mesmerizing poetry that was unleashed here on an unsuspecting me. I just write like a Mad Hatter, and there are such intellectual poems of Dr. Ampat Koshi, intellectually stimulating, very powerful poems, and then Gauri, those poetic punches, you know. I reeled under the impact of those certain lines. and Nivedita, Sunita, all of you, and Neelam ji. I just remember the poem that I recited that day, long years back. It was "There is someone at the door, a mother waiting for the
Yes,
child."
yes, 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 yes.
And there was this refrain, "There's someone at the door." I recall that
Yes.
poem. I'd forgotten about that. And in fact, I remember having recited it here also at this Sark Sufi festival. So this was an enchanting session, and I was enriched. I was mesmerized and intrigued, and I'm so happy to be a part of this session where I have all my favorites here, and I love all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Love you too, Santosh. And now let me invite our technical facilitator for the day, Nivi, who will speak on behalf of Literary Warrior Group.
Okay. So from one
So
family,
I've given my hat also to you.
yes. So from one family to the other, it has been such an honor, a privilege, of the most beautiful moment, as I said before, to have the Literary Warrior Group and the Significant League family come together on a very special occasion when Neelam and I have been uh, collaborating on having our international meets. And my favorite people come and join this session. And I cannot choose between the two families, of course. All my literary work till now, the little bit, tad bit that I have done, is all because of the inspiration of either of the two families, the Literary Warrior Group and the Significant League. So such a bug person I am, but today I am at a loss of words to say I am very emotional at the moment. Also to see Santosh ji so quiet, but I think this moment when we keep watching it again and the six of us go back after a week and see again what we said, you will understand what I'm trying to say. This particular 1 hour has been a very beautiful moment of bonding of poets from different parts of India and me outside of India. And it is just a very family bonding moment, a very beautifully connecting moment. And of course, I have learned so much from all of you. And now I want to close my mouth. Thank you very much.
That was very good one. So indeed, TSL has been a family to me also, and I've met each one of the poets here, and I think it was the first group that I joined when I started coming out professionally.
Hmm.
So means it was a wonderful day today, and I don't consider the two groups as different because we are all connected in a way, and so let's keep doing it often.
Yes.
So thank you to all the wonderful poets, to all the wonderful viewers who were with us throughout the session. Bye bye from all of us. See you some other time.
Okay.
Namaskaram.